Hey everyone, welcome back to the tower. As I would hope you have all already noticed, I'm wearing my graduation Mickey ears from my college program, and that's because today's video is going to be a look back at my college program, Spring Advantage 2014. I really wanted to do this on August 8th because that was the anniversary of the last day of my program, but because of moving and all that craziness, I wasn't able to film it that day and post it that day. So I'm filming it now, even though it's a couple weeks late, because I really want to share some of my favorite memories from my program and just take a look back at that fantastic 8 months of my life. Because even though it was hard and there were a lot of bad times, there are so many good memories that I have, and like as my time hop has been rolling in slowly but surely, I'm remembering all these great times that I had in addition to all the hard ones, so I wanted to make a video talking about them. The night before check-in, January 19th, 2014, my boyfriend Adam and I had already been in Orlando for a couple days. We went up so that we could see the parks and stuff. We're pass holders, so we went to the parks a few days before our program, and the 19th, my roommates, Adam and his roommates, all met up at Downtown Disney. It was the first time any of us had ever met before, and I cannot describe to you how magical that night was. It was, without a doubt, the best possible way I could have started off my program, and I remember my roommate Cammie came up and literally tackled me like in a hug, and I was just so like, you're real. Like I had been texting and video chatting with these people for months, and they were right in front of me and they were real, and I was hysterical. It was so fantastic and I was so excited. I don't think I've ever been that excited for anything in my life. I was so ready to start my new adventure with these wonderful people, and no matter what may have happened over the course of my program and what happened between all of us, and it doesn't matter, because that night we were immortal and we were gonna kick that program's butt, and it was just the best feeling, and I'll never forget it. And we went and played charades back at one of Adam's roommate's hotel rooms. Like we played heads up and it was so freaking funny. And then we went to Chili's and we were there for like hours just talking and getting to know each other. And at the end of that night, it really felt like we were gonna be best friends forever, and I'll never forget the way that night felt. It was amazing. The second official night of my program, my roommates and I all went to Chef Mickey's for dinner. We'd been planning it for months. We all Disney bounded, it was fantastic. And my one roommate, Cammie, had never been to Walt Disney World prior to the program. So it was kind of her first taste of Walt Disney World. I've been going to Disney World my whole life. I'm a Floridian. I know the parks like the back of my hand. I don't remember my first trip to Disney. So seeing someone else experience that magic for the first time is one of the most remarkable things I can even think of feeling. It was so wonderful. It was also our first time meeting Mickey as cast members. He was our boss, and it was so emotional. I know I cried. It was incredible to just be like, you're my boss, like I work for you. My whole life I've dreamed of this and I work for you now. I remember going to Traditions and being really excited. I still know the exact outfit I wore, and I remember getting my name tag and crying. I was so proud. I had been dreaming of this my whole life, and I had that name tag, and thinking about it now, I want to cry. Like, it was the most incredible feeling in the world. As you probably know from watching my other videos, I worked in Future World North at Epcot, and one of my locations was stroller rental. Part of working at stroller rental is collecting strollers that people leave out and about in the park. Since I was in the Future World location for stroller rental, that meant I had to inspect Future World for strollers and take them back to their home at stroller rental. It was one of my favorite parts of my job. I remember the first time that I went stroller hunting. It was me and my friends Tyler, Caitlin, and Renata. Renata had already been in Future World North for a few weeks, so she already kind of knew what was going on, and she was given the task of taking us on our first Behind Spaceship Earth stroller run. Being in deserted Epcot, like everyone has already gone home, and it's beautiful, the lights are still on, and the music is still on, and Spaceship Earth is still glowing, and the Fountain of Nations is still going off, and you're just walking around aimlessly collecting strollers and pushing them back. It was great. I would do that for the rest of my life, honestly. It was so much fun. Not the rest of my job, but I would do that for the rest of my life without a problem. I remember when Flower and Garden Festival came to Epcot. It was the first real big thing that happened, kind of one of the only big things that happened in Epcot while I was on my program, and everyone was like talking about how busy it was gonna get and how this was gonna happen, and these people were going to work booths out in World Showcase, and there was this hype around it, and it was so exciting. Oh, hey guys, so this is my dog. She decided, I guess, that she's gonna sit here for right now, so say hi, Punzy. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, anyway, So I was really excited to be a part of Flower and Garden as a cast member. And I remember distinctly that the day Flower and Garden started, the soundtrack changes. Normally it's an instrumental of Future World North's attractions music, but that day it changed to this medley of flower power 60s and 70s era songs, and everyone just seemed to get in a better mood when this happened. We would all like sing along. It was like, Do You Believe in Magic and Come On Get Happy, and like the most corny songs you can think of, but we would all just kind of like dance around and sing. And to this day, when I hear one of those songs somewhere else, I get really emotional, and usually I Snapchat my Future World North friends like, this is happening. So yeah, it was just a really happy time, and I have great memories associated with those songs. I remember for the first few months of my program, if I'd get off at 7 or 8, I would rush back to World Showcase Lagoon. Like, I'd go in the bathroom and I'd change out of my costume and I would rush to World Showcase Lagoon just to watch Illuminations. I'm not really fond of Illuminations. I much prefer Wishes and Fantasmic, but I would go back there to watch it because at the end of a long day, when I was upset or tired or miserable, it made me feel like there was a reason to be there, and it made me feel like Epcot. I don't know how to put that into words, but like, for whatever reason, as much as I don't care about Illuminations, I listened to that soundtrack every single night for 8 months, people. Like, it's always gonna stir emotion in me. Not the actual fireworks, just the music. Like, I don't care about the show as a whole. But so I would go back there and watch the fireworks and just kind of meditate on the fact that I was working at Walt Disney World. I'll also never forget when I was deployed to Magic Kingdom and I was working in Frontierland, and I got to watch Wishes every night while I was working. Don't even talk to me about that. That was the most incredible experience. I fondly remember one day I was working, I believe it was at Gateway Gifts, and this girl, Sydney, who had been working there for a couple months, came up to me and said, "Do you like One Direction?" Very skeptically, and I looked at her also very skeptically because I couldn't tell if she was gonna be like, "Why do you like One Direction?" or if she was excited that I liked One Direction. And I was like, "Yes," very tentatively, and she got the biggest smile on her face and she's like, "Okay, so Megan told me," this girl Megan that worked in Future World North was like, "Hey, did you know Jessica likes One Direction too?" Because Megan and I had already talked about our love of One Direction. And from that moment on, Sydney and I were best friends. We talked about One Direction every time we worked together, and it was great. I had a fangirl friend in the North, and it was wonderful. And since then, we've corrupted our friend Madison to be a Directioner also. It's fantastic. Love it. One of my favorite memories for sure. By far, the best day of my program was the day that my favoritist people, yes, I said favoritist, and I went to Siesta Key Beach. We all met up and we drove to Siesta Key, and we went to Publix ahead of time and got like snacks and stuff, and we stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, and then we headed down the road. And I remember I was in the car with Sydney and our friend Cheyenne, and everyone else was in the other car. And Sydney and I, because it happened to be One Direction's anniversary, not that anyone watching this video cares, and Sydney and I were determined we were gonna listen to One Direction to celebrate the whole way. And our friend Cheyenne was like, just shaking her head the whole time, like she just did not care. And finally, by the end of the car ride, she was like, "Wait, so is that Harry? Is that this?" And like she was starting to get really into it. And then while we were at the beach, like we were all just there together, and we took cute photos and just spent the entire day together. And it was so much fun. It was the first day on my program where I was just so chill. Like nothing mattered. I was with my friends. There was no stress. It was just fantastic. Angela really wanted to stay to see the sunset, and we were like, no, we're not staying to see the sunset. And to this day, we hear about the fact that we did not let her stay and see the sunset. Poor Angela. I think that was the day that I realized that we were a pretty solid group and that we may just continue to talk when we got home. And we have. I remember how pumped I was to work a glow cart for the first time. Since I was little, I've been obsessed with glow toys at Disney. Who isn't? Like, it's part of the magic. And I remember when I got merchandise, I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna get to work a glow cart like that. Oh my gosh, that'll be so much fun. And I remember being in training and talking about it, and my trainer and Tyler, the person that was working with me, were kind of like, why are you excited to do that? And I was like, I'm excited, it's gonna be great. And And I remember the first time that I worked glow during training, I was so hype. I wore as many glow necklaces as I could put on, and I played with that bubble gun for freaking hours. It was great. The feeling of pulling an assignment that you really love at CDS, pulling traffic. Not sure if I mentioned this in another video, but there was one position at Strollers called traffic, and it would basically be where you would stand and direct ECVs where to go, and direct strollers where to go, and direct people to package pickup, and the exit, and just you kind of directed people. And you'd have a big glow sword wand thing, and a Mickey hand, and you would wave bye to everybody, and give little kids high fours, because Mickey only has 4 fingers, and it was just so magical. Like, it was the most magical part of working in strollers, I can tell you that for sure. Just because of the Mickey glove, like, forget it, it was the best part. Another really great memory I have was the last night that I worked in the Seas, and I happened to work there with Angela. And the really cool thing about this night was that we happened to get all our closing stuff done early. And so our favorite manager was like, okay, you guys can ER. ER means leave your shift early, early release. But it was empty and it was closed, and it was the last night we were gonna work there. And then we went and took pictures in the Seas the last night. And we spent the whole day at Magic Kingdom. We rode all the rides and took so many pictures. Madison had Memory Maker. I don't remember why or how, but she had Memory Maker. And so we took so many pictures. It's phenomenal. There's one picture of Angela and I cuddling in Gaston's chair in his tavern. We look ridiculous. But most of all, we all sat on Main Street and freaking cried our eyes out during Wishes and Celebrate the Magic. We were sobbing. We looked like idiots. Every CP was there. It was depressing, but it was one of my best memories because it was our last night together. Even though I still had a week, it was a really great way to end my program with my favorite people. Not to end on a sad note, but those are my best memories from my Disney College program. I'm sure there's plenty more good memories, but those are like my favorite ones that I will remember fondly for like the rest of my life. The Disney College program was a life-changing experience. There were a lot of good things and a lot of bad, and it's officially been 1 year since I survived. Thank God. I've been home for a year, and I'm ready to go back in a year, and I can't wait to work for my favorite mouse again. So if you bared with me for all this, thank you for watching. If you have ever worked for the Walt Disney Company college program or not, let me know what your favorite memories are working for the mouse below. Or if you've never worked for Disney, tell me what your favorite Disney memories are below. Let me know. Also, like I said in my last video, I am back open for business. I'm gonna be making more videos all the time now. So tell me in the comments below what you want to see. I have a list going of requests that I have for Top 5 Fridays that I'm gonna get on, but in terms of the college program or whatever else, let me know what you want to see and I'm gonna make those videos for you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you liked this video, and as always, for more magical Disney content, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a magical day.